In this video, I have the honor and pleasure to be interviewing and extracting some success tips from a six-figure earner in her network marketing company. She was able to get to that status in less than 13 months, and she is her company's current top customer enroller. So stay tuned. My name is Tanya Aliza, and I help entrepreneurs and network marketers create success faster while most importantly designing a lifestyle that you love. So if you're new to Tanya Aliza TV, consider subscribing because I release a brand new training video and a resource for your business every single week. Now, before I cut to this fantastic interview that I have in store for you, I gotta preface this because I had the pleasure of interviewing a lady by the name of Tracy Wankman, and she's absolutely amazing. She's a client of mine, but as she became a client of mine, I got to hear her story and I got to learn about her, and I was really, really intrigued with how she builds her business. And if you're in network marketing and you are thinking, I don't know if I should lead with my product or I don't know if I should lead with my business, this is gonna be a really good, powerful training for you. I also asked her 5 success tips that she could share with us as network marketers that could help us create some of the results that she's been able to create in such a short period of time like she's been able to do. Now, Tracy was gracious enough to come out and share some of her success tips with us, and I was seriously impressed with how she builds a business. She actually is her company's top enroller when it comes to customers. She gets people to fall in love with her products and obviously her, and then she also upgrades them into becoming a distributor and a business builder from falling in love with the product first. And I think that's ultimately one of the most powerful things that you can do in your business if you want to create long-term growth and a true residual check that lasts. Now, before I pop over and we hop into the interview, in every single episode of Tanya Aliza TV, I like to equip you with a powerful resource that you can use in your business and start seeing results with as fast as possible. Now, in this episode, since we're going to be talking about leading with the product and then actually transitioning people and your raving fans and customers into business builders, I thought it would be really powerful for me to equip you with a resource on how to approach people in that fashion. So prospecting questions that specifically you can ask to break the ice and turn a conversation into an opportunity to book an appointment to share your products and services with people. So in this episode, I'm going to be sharing with you my top 20 prospecting questions that you can use online if you're on social media or offline to break the ice and start conversations so that you can lead into booking an appointment to share your products and services. You can pick up that free resource over on my blog at tanyaaliza.com/58 download. The number 58 download. We'll leave a link in the description box wherever you're watching this video. Click that, go over to the blog, and on the blog right below this video, you'll see a button, a yellow one in fact. Click it and you will be taken to getting my top 20 prospecting questions to help you get more appointments so you can use some of these success tips that Tracy is going to share with us in this interview to book those appointments and get more people on your products and services, turn them into a raving fan, and then turn them into a distributor from there. So pick that up, it's on the blog, and next, enjoy the interview and enjoy Tracy's success tips. I'll also leave a link to Tracy's blog in the show notes at tanyaaliza.com/58 download so you can go and check a little bit out about what Tracy's doing and a little bit more about maybe some of her tips and strategies that she has on her blog as well. So enjoy the interview. Hey Rockstars, this is Tanya Aliza from tanyaaliza.com. Welcome to this episode of Tanya Aliza TV, and I am so honored and excited to have Miss Tracy Wankman with me today. I wanted to interview her for so long, and finally her busy schedule has allowed us to finally nail down a time today, and I get to record it for all of everyone's viewing pleasure because she's an absolute rock star, and I mean rock star. I don't use that word lightly, okay? Because lady boss, rock star in the network marketing industry. And this lady is literally on fire. She created 6 figures in the network marketing industry in 13 months. Wow, I think we've got a thing or two to learn from this lady, so I'm so excited. She focuses on building a really strong empire of customers that love her so much, that stick with her for the long term, because obviously they've got a great product, but they've got a great person that they're buying the product from. So she totally has this huge heart in her team with her customers, and I thought, heck, Tracy, you are crushing it and breaking records in your company. There's got to be a thing or two that we can learn from you And you guys, Tracy's come out here. I didn't pay her to come out here. She's here on her own time to share a couple of tips. And so, Tracy, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your story. But I wanted to do it justice as well. But I also, I'm going to be interviewing you today and having you, and you don't know what I'm going to ask you, right? You have no idea. This is completely off the cuff, right? We're working from home in our home offices, the beauty. Yes. And I'm going to ask you 5 questions that I think that will really help the industry as a whole, other network marketers grinding it and building their businesses and wanting some of the results that you have. Created in an incredible time. And I think you've been in, 5 years now total, right?
Hitting 5.5, so yeah.
Coming in 5.5.
Yeah.
So You've done some incredible things, and I'm really excited to hear your story and also hear some of your success tips. So I wanted to intro you a little bit, but I didn't want to take it all off the table for you. So why don't you tell everybody at Tanya Aliza TV community here a little bit about your background and how you got into network marketing and what you're loving most about it, and then we'll get into the 5 success tips that I want you to share today.
Sounds good. Well, you're a rock star too, so if you call me a rock star, I feel pretty good. Yeah, we're both at home in our comfies. This is how I work. This is why I like this industry, because I can be in my comfies and work at home in my office. So I'm in Naples, Florida, and I grew up in a small town in Illinois, and my mom was in network marketing. So I'll talk about that in a second, because I never knew that I would end up in the same industry as her, that it would come around. So I'll bring that into the story later. But yeah, 5.5 years ago, I found a product that I loved. I got great results. Was not looking for a business at all, which is such a great lesson, because I picked up a product. And 2 weeks into using the product, I called and said, I want to make this a business. So you never know. And that's why I do believe customers are so important, because I was a customer first. So if I hadn't been brought in and treated the way I was, I may not be here. And I loved the way I was treated, the company, the products. And yeah, 2 weeks in, I was like, this is amazing. Everyone's asking me, what are you doing? You look different. You have this energy. What are you doing? And I was like, well, I need to do this. So I started, and I'm the type that I jumped in right away. So I don't believe in sitting and waiting, or waiting till you know everything about the company, everything about the product. Yeah. I don't believe in that, because we would still be waiting, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I mean, there's just no way you're going to know everything. So I just jumped in, and I used what I did know, which I already had a few of the products and a pretty big product line that I was using and doing well with. So I said, work with what you know. So I promoted the products I did know and taught myself about the rest. So at night, during the day in the car, I would get on every webinar I could find, any magazine our company had. I mean, you name it, I trained myself. There was no team down here. There was no Super Saturdays. It was me. Yeah, it was me building my own little empire, as you said, down here. And it was kind of fun, because I really didn't have preconceived notions of what to do, or an upline telling me, you got to do this, you can't do this. I had a great upline who said, go ahead, do what you want to do. I think it's a great idea, and go for it. And that was to build with customers. And it may sound a little crazy, but even 5.5 years ago, a lot of companies, that's not what was happening. Mm-hmm. It was recruit. And of course, recruiting's great. It's just, I didn't even get into this industry until I was 43. Now you know how old I am, but.
You look fantastic. Jeez Louise.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be 49 We'll get into the beauty tips later, guys.
Yes, we'll do a whole other call on that, because believe me, it takes more work. But when you start at 43, and I understand it's not old, but keep in mind, you've lived a little life, you've worked different careers, and you know what you like and what you don't like. That's what I love about being in my 40s. You have a ways to go, but you'll understand that. And I knew I loved the product, and I love working with people. So I knew I wanted to build the business with customers. Didn't really think it was that crazy until I think I was 9 months into the business, and I went to my first event. It was a U.S. event, not an international, just the U.S. And I sat at a table with some people that were in my group. We were all in San Antonio, and I was actually trying to rank advance at the time, for really the first big rank, where you start, getting noticed, so to speak. So I had some phone calls to make at the lunch break. I had people to sign up. I had things to do. And my upline from California, he's way on my upline, but my upline said, I don't think you should go anywhere, because they're going to do a little award. They're going to do some stuff at lunch. And I see your name. I go, what? And I panicked a little bit, because at this point, very under the radar. No one knew me. I went into this event. It's like I could have said anywhere. Nobody knew I knew who people were, because I'd watched them. You know how that is?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, they had no idea who I was. So I sat there, and they started giving awards out for different categories. And they were saying different, they didn't say my name, but I was getting more and more nervous, because he said, oh my gosh, I think your name's on more than one. I go, quit talking. You're making me nervous. And the next thing I know, they said, we're saving the best for last. We have an individual who's won number 1 in 5 categories. I won like 5 categories.
Holy smacks.
And even recruiting, because I think when you do start and you're bringing in customers, you are bringing an associate. So all of a sudden they hand me a microphone and I am like, I was like, because I'm
That's awesome.
Because if you meet me, I'm a talker, but I'm also shy in front of crowds. And I didn't know any of these people. Like now they're my family. You know how it is in your companies.
Yeah.
But at this point, none of them knew me. And they put me in front of this room with the microphone with these awards. And I was a little panicked. And I said to myself inside, I was like, wow, I think what I'm doing is working. So that is when I realized. But it was interesting. Before that, I'm down in Florida building what I wanted to do, what I was a passion. And then I realized this is turning into something. Right. So I go to the convention a few months later, my first convention, and I was Rookie of the Year out of like hundreds of thousands of people. I was on the stage. I mean, it was crazy. I won all these really big awards. So it wasn't just a one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just really exciting because I went to convention and people came up and said, wow, I wish that my sponsor would have told me that I could also build with customers. And I was like, they didn't. And it was the mindset of when people got in the industry, who their upline was, how long the company's been around. And I didn't look at that. I just did what I felt that would make a great business for me and make me happy, honestly.
Yeah.
And because I did all those things, it worked great for me. I didn't feel pressure. I did it the way I wanted to. And of course, if you get a lot of great customers, you're going to get associates.
Oh, yeah.
But some people they don't think about it that way. They have like right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was interesting for me. I don't have a large team. Granted, I'm mostly customers, but the team I have is strong and they build with customers and they enjoy it.
Awesome.
Right. And it works. And our retention is amazing.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you lose an associate, it's kind of lose all of them.
Yeah.
Like get off their auto order and they just, maybe the business didn't work for them and they walk away. Customers are different. They stick with you unless a life situation happens, or that they come back if you treat them well. And it's just the retention I have is pretty amazing. And the way the business, I think it's for most, but I'm very balanced. I have a very good, I get paid well because customers, you can kind of put them where you need them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, they go typically in any good comp plan, they'll go where they're needed in your volume.
And so that's what I've done for 5 years. And so it's really strong. And so it's work, but it's work that I love. Like I work a lot, but in a good way. Like I'm working from home most days in my Lululemons with my 2 dogs. And if my husband says, hey, I mean, I live on a golf course, like you like to golf. If he said, let's go hit some balls or let's go to the tennis court, I can do that. Yeah. I just stop what I'm doing, or we get on our bike and we take off. And that's what I love about this business.
Totally. So that brings me into a really good question that I know that a lot of people are going to be asking because you've had a lot of success. And I know this is something I want to know. When you first were starting and you were building your customer base, what did your typical day look like? Like, what did you do?
Yeah, and it's changed because even the industry in 5 years has changed. But when I started, I did a lot of events. You could call them tasting events, or you could call them, it was an event or a seminar style talking about the products. And that is how I found my company. I happened to go to an event at a fitness center and I loved what I saw. So I said, that's how I'm going to build. So I did like 2 or 3 events a month my first year. Like it's a lot of work to get up and go to an event, but I had the car packed all the time. I had it down to a science, but it's work to show up. And sometimes you get 20 people and sometimes you get 2 people. Okay. And it's disappointing, but you treat it the same. So I did a lot of events, which really...
And how did you get people to the event? So you said that you take them to a fitness center. You do obviously a product demonstration, product explanation, presentation. And then how did you get people there?
Yeah, and it's interesting. So I did not use social media at the time, but it's also 5.5 years ago. So let's put that in perspective. I went everywhere and anywhere and invited people. So I used to work for a plastic surgeon with a beautiful office, and I knew a lot of women there. So I put invitations there. I went to the hairdresser. So
you had little invitations made up.
Yes. This is the old school, I know, but
I love it. No,
but it works.
It still works. Yes,
it still works. I just printed things off on my computer. It wasn't fancy either. Very simple. Okay. And then of course I did email and call some people, and I'd get friends to bring friends. And what happened was the results were getting so amazing that the referrals built up. So my business is so huge on referrals, because if someone is successful, then they would tell their friend and their friend, and then they would say, can I bring my friend to the event? And so the first few months you're struggling a little bit. It's not easy, and you go to events. So then what I did is I did so well in Naples with the event that we go up and visit my family in the summer. So I took everything with me and we drove up to Illinois, and I did the same thing there. My husband's from Wisconsin. I went up there.
Go Green Bay Packers.
Go Packers. Let's not talk about it. But yeah, sad. But so what I did was I realized you don't have to stay local. You have friends and family that live all over the United States. You have my sorority sisters that I went to school with. I mean, I just took myself I had a friend who was married to a doctor. She's from Indiana. She fell in love with the product. She called and said, I know it's January and you moved out of this snow for a reason, but would you be willing to come up? We just redid our house. I'd love to have a big party and talk about the products. She had like 60 women.
Wow.
It was, I can't even tell you how amazing that and what I got from that. But see, all that builds and builds and builds. And she had 2 events, one in her home and one at her husband's office with a totally different set of people. So it just opened people's eyes to realize there are a lot of people out there. And that's
so we'll hashtag that in the show notes, power of the product.
Yes.
We're going to hashtag that, power of the product.
Yes. So then referrals just came and it just was crazy. And then I built a small team here. So then they were inviting people. And I had a couple of young girls and they were really good on social media. So I had them, they were starting to invite people by social media. And it just, after a while, when people hear you have an event and they see success coming from it, isn't it amazing how it just starts, all of a sudden you look, and every time you had an event, you had a room full of people. Yeah. It just started, I didn't even have to work as hard at it.
So would you like pre-plan the event and then just work in between the event to get people to the event? Like that was your work method?
That, and what would happen is I would have women call me and say, hey, I don't know if we can make it to the event, but I have 5 women, my friends, they all want to know why I look so good. They're ready. In other words, they were going to buy regardless. I would just show up at their house or meet them at a little coffee shop. And I already knew before I got there, I probably had the business because the friend had talked so highly of it. Right. And the referral. So I would just do little ones in between. I had phone calls. I had emails come in. And my friend from Chicago, had these products. She looks amazing. Can you help me? And then, like I said, I was building this in different parts of the U.S. Perfect. And as I was doing that, I had a website and I was SEOing. I know that's kind of old fashioned, but I was getting myself out there and I gave my web address to anybody, and it just started building. Cool. And so I would just get customers too, because I put myself out there.
Cool.
Yeah.
So then, so I'm interested to know as well, when you did the presentations, because they were so product focused, that was all that you talked about was product, right?
Yes.
And then there was a call to action to make an order, of course. Did they at all know that they could become an associate or a representative, or was that like discussed later at a different point?
Later, we made a decision that because we had publicized or advertised this event as a product event, I didn't want to sneak in too much of the other and feel like, because some people feel that way.
Yes.
Honestly, I was invited to an event that was product driven. That's why I'm here. And if I would have come to that event and maybe they brought up the business side too much, I might have been kind of taken back and not even ordered. So I always kept the events, but I had 2 packets there, always. One was for someone who really wanted more information, maybe didn't purchase that night. And one was if they're over at my display for longer than normal and the questions they're asking, or maybe the industry they're in, that was my job. And if I thought they'd be good, more than just a customer, I would give them another packet or pull them aside. Or then if I would have someone become a customer, but they kept referring people to me, I'd be like, do you want to be a referral partner? Which really is an associate, but it's just a way of saying, hey, you keep bringing these people in.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like to earn free product or money? So that's kind of what kept happening. But I didn't have a big conversation up in the front about it. Okay. I watched. And not everybody wanted that. And I didn't want people to be, kind of offended or thinking I was pushing them to do something they weren't ready for.
Sure. And it was the way you brought them in. So you just wanted to be congruent with that. I like that so much. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have anybody watching the show today, if you have a very strong product, you should, number one,
yes,
is, try leading with the product. And I personally believe, even before, I knew your story, Tracy, is like, I personally believe that if you have somebody that is so sold on the product, you will have such a stronger rep if they ever decide to upgrade.
Absolutely.
You just will. And you're going to, and that's how that's how everything that you get paid in your comp plan works on is customers, is product sales.
And
so you obviously crushed it in that department.
Those testimonials, some people, I don't have anybody, you have your own testimonial in the beginning or your husband, and then I had my mom and I built on those. But what was happening, it was the amount of testimonials I got that I was able to share at each event. And some of those women or men would come back because they would bring their friends and they'd be in the room. And they'd say, can I stand up? Oh my gosh. And they'd tell their story. That's worth, I didn't even need to talk, right?
It's priceless.
Yeah, it's priceless. So I saw these testimonials for myself, and it just became, at some point, it was snowballing so crazy that some days I'd wake up and you say, what was I doing? I wasn't sleeping very much, but you know how that is when you're really building and and it's happening, and and sometimes you don't know. You say, well, how did I get here? It's amazing, but
it was a blur.
There was a few months there that I was like, I don't know what happened, but I'm on stage and now I want to trip, and here I am, but it's an amazing thing because there's this adrenaline from it and the momentum. I had momentum early on. And I just learned to stay with it. Because, yeah, if I want to fall back a little bit at a certain point, I can, but I just love the momentum. So I never really have stopped in 5 years.
Yeah. And the momentum has happened purely because you kept it going.
Right.
You didn't depend on somebody else keeping it going.
Exactly.
You know, some people get in, they recruit their first 2 people, and then they're like, I'm going to just sit back now, let it ride.
And you can't really do that with customers. So I had such a good work ethic. I am taking care of and yes, there's, hey, there's pros and cons both ways, right? So there's a lot more hand holding if you're bringing in associates.
Yeah.
If maybe you have to do more training. But with customers, there's a lot more upfront to make sure they're happy and they're on the right products. But then after a while, they're good, but you don't want them to think that you forgot about them. So
what is your follow-up process? I'm totally, by the way, deviating from the notes that I had because this is way too juicy. Okay. So what did your follow-up process look like? Like, you signed up a new customer. Did you set the expectation right when they signed up? Like, hey, I'm going to be calling you in XYZ days or a month. And how did you keep that going to make sure that they were good? Right.
So I was very big on email when I started. I still am, only because some people are like, about the phone, and you don't know. And hey, I work till 2 a.m. I'm a late night girl. I'm not a morning girl, but I can send an email at 1 a.m. and not offend anybody.
Okay.
So when you know what I mean? You text and phone, you got to be careful. I'm on the East Coast, you have different time zones, but I would tell them that right away I would place the order and be sending them an email. And in that email would have all the details, the juicy details to get started. But if I had a lot of people on like a 28-day program, like a literal program. And that's how I started. The results are better because it takes 21 days, right, to form a habit. So sure. I like to get people on a program, not just one product, but maybe a couple that work together.
Good point. I love that.
Yeah, and it's more than one product. Yeah. So what was helpful for me, like I said, I didn't know everything, and I surely am not a nutritionist or a doctor, but I knew what I saw, I liked, and it was working. So I would talk about the product lines I knew, and if you got them on a program, you were using more than one, you know what I mean? So you were introducing them to more than one product line. But then after I got in the business, between my upline and other mentors in my business, they had built a 28-day program, and I plugged into that, where there were autoresponder. Once you get in here, you get a little fancier. In the beginning, it's an email at 1 a.m., and you hope that, but after a while, I did the e-blasts and the autoresponders, and I would do like group calls. Yep. If everyone was, and I don't do those as much anymore. I got to tell you, just in 5 years, how it's changed. Now it's Facebook groups. So it's just so crazy how even in 5 years it's changed. And I talked about my mom a little bit. So she's been with the same network marketing company for 30 years. That's 30 awesome. Years. That's awesome. And she got into it because her only child, me, was leaving for college. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
And she was a customer. And she's the number one sales in her company, and she's 68 years old. Number one.
What's your mom's name?
Cheryl.
Go Cheryl. Give her a shout out.
She's product driven. She's a customer service queen. And I never knew I'd be in the industry she was in, but obviously I saw over the years what she had built. Yeah. And even though I didn't live in the house when she started it, I was there enough. And then when my father passed suddenly at a young age, she had that. It's something I think that's part of my why and my reason of why I'm in this is I have a husband, great, like you do, and they will do anything for us. But there's something about having your own business and your own something that no matter what, it's yours. And I have this need to feel like I can take care of myself. Yeah. And I think I saw that from my mother, and she did it with network marketing. And when she took weeks off after my dad passed away, but she was able to. This is the kind of industry where your life happens and you can work around it. Like, I don't set an alarm clock. I don't believe in them. Unless I have a flight to catch, there is no alarm clock in this house. And it's one of my favorite things about the business, really, right? I don't need an alarm clock.
Yeah.
You have freedom.
Awesome. No, we had many years with alarm clock, and we do not have that anymore, which is totally, totally awesome. Yes. So I'm going to ask you then a couple questions. So we got deep, and thank you for diving into some of your processes when you first got started, because that's huge. Like, whether you did that then or you even start doing that now, like, that can work, right? So keep in mind, product focused. Right. I really truly believe in that. So what do you think today is one of your biggest struggles in your business?
I think, there's more competition, even in the 5 years that I've been in the industry. If you're in nutrition, and there's other types of network marketing, there's just a lot going on out there. And there's a little bit, I just stay true to myself, and I treat things the way I always have, with great customer service, and I'm just myself, and I treat people the way I want to be treated. So they know I'm there, but I don't bother them. When I see everyone, and you're such the queen of teaching this, that's how I found you. It's interesting. I was brand new to social media when I started at my company. I literally had to get a Facebook page. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get on Facebook, And then I make my mom get on Facebook. And here we're like really top in our company, but that's not how we built.
Sure.
But it's funny, neither one of us, even though we're the top like product sellers in our company, have never went on and just screamed about our company or product. And even though I didn't take courses to tell me not to do that, I just knew I didn't like that. So why would I do that?
Common sense, people, right?
Yeah, I don't like it when I go in a store and they do it. Why would I like it online? Yeah. And so it's interesting. I have never thrown like all my stuff out. That doesn't mean there's not photos from fun events or awards, but it's more of the lifestyle. And it's so interesting when I take courses from you and Ray Higdon and all these great people out there and John and Nadia and all that. And it's like, oh, I was kind of doing that. I just didn't know. But I just stay myself. And yeah, there are good days and there are bad days. And the industry can have changes. And, I have to say the industry now is focusing more on customers because the FTC. So it's very interesting that even our company, even though we have such a strong customer connection there at our company, they're even focused on more. And I know a lot of other companies are. So I'm like, oh, well, I'm already there. I'm good. So I'm just myself. There's good days. There's bad days. But I'd say 99% of the time, they're good days.
Yeah. So if you have a bad day, because we all have bad days.
Yeah.
Because actually Jessica Higdon, I heard her on a call, I don't even know when, but something she said stuck in my mind. And she said, if you don't feel like quitting at least 2 times a week, you're not working hard enough.
Right. I
agree. Those days that you feel like quitting might be a bad day. So what do you specifically do to get over a bad day? Is there anything you like to do to kind of like let the stress out and kind of recharge?
It's just unplugging, and it's very hard in our industry and the way we do business. That phone is on me all the time, or I'm on the computer, and it's just, I got to walk away, literally put the phone away, turn the computer off, and get on the bike with my husband, or he has an old 63 Ford convertible.
I've seen the pictures of that, the red one.
Yes, on my website.
Car.
We literally get our dogs, and I have to say, if I want to go to my happy place, it's where my husband and my dogs are. Those dogs are my kids. They are I look at their face and what could be wrong with the world. But you have to just get away, and they're so innocent. They don't understand. Yeah. And your bad day goes away if you put yourself in front of people you love, and you just got to kind of walk away. And if it's bike riding or bowling or I don't care, crazy, something that maybe you don't always do but you love, I just walk away. My mom had, she's in the business, and she said the other day, there were shipping problems. There were problems. These things happen. And we're the ones that hear about it. Yeah. And so you got to put a smile on your face and go forward. And she just said, I unplugged. Like she took a walk. She lives out in the country. She said, it's freezing cold here. I don't even care. She said, I had to get away from the situation. And then you wake up the next day and you're like, I love this. It's so amazing. It's so great. It happens to everybody, but there's more good days in this industry than bad days working for somebody else.
It's perspective. But I mean, that's important to know. I mean, your mom's with a 30-year-old company. I say this all the time. No company, it doesn't matter if it's in network marketing or not in network marketing, no company is ever going to be perfect. No. There's always going to be trials and tribulations. There's going to be days where you're just like, customer service, and you just want to like go over there and strangle them. But it's how we react to those situations as a leader and a marketer, and as a leader in our teams. And I know for me, I've had days where I've just been like this, I just can't, and you throw in the towel. But the only reason why we are where we are is because we didn't quit. We didn't let those things defeat us. And I mean, 30-year-old company, you're still having little problems. You're always going to have problems.
And a lot of times it's technology, and we all love it, right? I mean, look how you built your business. We love technology, but in 2 seconds we can hate it.
Yes.
If the website's down or the back office isn't working. I mean, but these are the struggles we have, and we just have to say, okay, it'll get better, it'll get fixed, and it's at every company. Yeah.
My husband has a great saying. He says, "This too shall pass." You know? Yes. And he's very good with calming me out, because sometimes I can get a little red and But I think it's important to talk about the things that, are challenges sometimes, especially on the show, because we always talk, the industry is, it's kind of hypey, right? Oh, everything's so amazing. But if we just get to the real of it, I think that's what's really important, right? Because we have a beautiful
you have Caesar, and my husband, what's great is he's not in this industry.
Yeah.
But he was an entrepreneur for years. He had his own, he gets it. I have parents that were entrepreneurs. I have a husband. So he understands that some days you're just like, oh my gosh, but he can walk me away from it. And he'll say, let's just, he puts perspective on it. Okay, why are we making this such a big deal? And then I'll really dissect the situation. I'm like, he's totally right. It's really not a big deal. But,
so a couple more questions. So one question is, if you could give the audience at Tanya Aliza TV one of your biggest success tips in building your business, what would that success tip be?
Well, I would say it's, I told you what I did to build my business, but what I feel is amazing now that I'm still learning and trying to grasp is branding myself. Yeah. and getting on social media and learning how to put myself out there, it's a little scary. So I did everything more the old-fashioned way. My mom used to do the parties, at home. Yeah. And now she does almost everything online. Nobody has the parties anymore. She does online parties.
Online parties, yeah.
Online parties. And I do Facebook groups. And so I wish I kind of would have took a hold of that a little sooner, but it all comes with time. But if I was just starting, or I was trying to find a way to put myself out there, I would say brand yourself, get yourself on social media, get some Facebook groups together with like-minded people. And I'll tell you what, I am an online course junkie. I mean, I have a friend who said, I need to go away for that. She's like, do not buy any more online courses. But what I love about it, like finding you and Caesar and other people that are in the industry, but you're teaching us no matter what company we're in, I'm learning things that my own company didn't teach me, or my upline. It's a different perspective. So I would say, sure, they need to do, I love education. I have 2 college degrees, and I'm educating myself online all the time. And I'm, going to be 49 years old. You can always learn. And I've opened myself up, I'd say in the last year or 2, to online courses. Like that you've had, like I said, Ray and Jessica, all the people we love, all the rock stars and masterminds, and putting yourself in a situation where you can learn from others. And I think it really opens up your eyes to what you can do.
Totally. Yeah. Always be learning. That's super important.
Right.
Embracing a little bit more of the online. Totally.
Yes.
And learning marketing, because half the word of our profession is marketing.
Yep, absolutely.
So, and we just built your blog, and you have it, and it's so fabulous. It looks
Thank
awesome. You are so gorgeous.
You guys.
I love your blog. So what is your blog address so people can come and check out that fancy, awesome thing?
Yes, it's my name, which is Tracy Winkman, TracyWenkman. So TracyWinkman.com.
We'll link to it. Yeah, we'll link to it in the show notes for you, so people can go and check out the masterpiece. And you literally crushed it, and I didn't let everybody know, but Tracy was a part of our Rank Up Challenge mastermind, our group mastermind that Caesar and I do, and you came in first place and won a trip for 2 from us. So congratulations on that. You crushed the competition. There was like no beating you. It was like, there goes Tracy. Like, I don't know.
Well, at my company, I've been the top customer enroller for 5 years, but before I'll be like, so is it, they're like, whatever. Like, I'm like, is it close or what? They're like,
you're like in the bag every year.
I just want to know, are we good? But eventually I will be moved from that spot. There will be someone new who comes in, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I can open up and it's okay. I still have so many great customers, and that too will pass, right? But right now I'm still the momentum. Like I said, I've never let that really stop. So it keeps going.
So one last question. I always like to ask a quirky question because I'm quirky and I love food. So what is your favorite food, Tracy?
Sushi, without a doubt.
Without a doubt, sushi.
You didn't even finish the question. And I grew up on a cattle farm. Yeah. Where I had eaten potatoes every night of my life. And then I moved to Florida and I found seafood and I found sushi. I love sushi with a nice glass of white wine. Really, that would be my last supper if I had to pick one. And I like amazing, crazy sushi. Cool. I don't like the plain one. I like the rolls with all kinds of things and then things on the outside and like crazy.
Wow. That is awesome. I mean, totally meat and potatoes to like crazy sushi. It's very rare. You're a rare breed.
I'm a rare breed.
Well, Tracy, thank you so much for coming on to Tanya Aliza TV. I hope everybody has enjoyed this session and has learned some really awesome nuggets from you, Tracy. I know I have. I love how you go customer focused. I think that's huge. That's awesome. If anybody wants to connect with Tracy, I'll link to the her website in the show notes. You can go say hi, and please just say hi to her and say thank you for her wisdom and nuggets that she shared on the show. Tracy, is there any last words that you'd like to add?
Oh, I just want to say thanks to you and Caesar. The Rank Up Challenge was amazing. And the reason why I joined the Rank Up Challenge was because I did want to learn more on building a team and how to, I got the customer, I'm pretty good on the customer side, right? The product side, but you always trying to learn. And I do want to bring in, have more of a team. And I wanted to learn how you guys do that. It's just an area that I needed some help with. So I learned a lot. And I'm re-listening. I'm listening over and over again.
Good. Well, we were happy to have you. And we're happy to have you on the show as well. And this call at Tanya Aliza TV is a wrap. Pretty powerful interview, right? I loved it. I thought it was absolutely awesome. It is a series of interviews that we're going to be doing called 6-Figure Success Tips over here on the blog. I'm going to be interviewing some more leaders and people that are out there making it happen, our boss men and our boss ladies that are out there, just for you to learn what's working out there and how we can apply some of them into our business. So if this did help you, let us know so we can create more of this type of content for you. Also, make sure to pick up the top 20 prospecting questions to start conversation and lead into an appointment so you can share your products and services with more people that are out there. You can pick that up at tanyaaliza.com/58 download. We'll leave a link in the description box. Pop over to the blog, grab that resource, download it for free, and use it in your business. All right, question of the week. Are you leading with the product that you offer or the business that you offer? I'd like to know. Drop it in the comment section below, join the conversation, and let me know what's been working really well for you in your business as well. And as always, if you love this video, if it did help you in your business, share it with your friends, share it with your team via one of the share links around this video, one of the social media share links, and share the love and share the wealth of information so you can help your team and your friends crush it in business. We'll see you on the next episode of Tanya Aliza TV.